You're watching 48 Fastcast.
Welcome in, y'all, to the 48 Fastcast. Today, 48 First Solar Weather Day. Tomorrow is as well, and Wednesday as well, because of the extreme heat.
Yeah, some hot days ahead, starting today with these First Solar Weather Days.
Yeah, weekend was hot and humid, very hot and humid today. The worst day probably coming tomorrow, your Tuesday. Tomorrow we may even be hot enough with that feels like temperature around 110 that we may have an extreme heat warning, and that's even a step above a heat advisory. But heat advisory for now, for today as well as Tuesday, goes through 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. Heat-related illnesses just becoming more and more common with stretches of weather like this. So stay hydrated, stay cool. You guys have done a great job all summer. Just take care of yourself, take care of your body. Try and avoid doing anything too strenuous. A few isolated pop-up showers there in parts of Moore County as well as Franklin County up in Tennessee, just southwest of Winchester, right along 64. Heat index today probably around 100 degrees as early as about 10:30 this morning. This afternoon will feel like 102 to about 107. Only relief we get from that heat and humidity today will be in the form of isolated downpours and a few storms. Temperatures out the door on this Monday morning already in the mid to upper 70s. We'll talk about some relief though on your 10-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
This is your 48 First Alert Road Report, sponsored by Bankston Motorhomes.
Right, we still have that crash on the Parkway at Weatherly Road there, causing some pretty significant delays in the southbound lanes and also in the northbound lanes as well. So this was clear a few minutes ago, but it seems like traffic is starting to pick up. So just be aware of that. Taking you now to the Huntsville-Madison area, 565 eastbound, that slow stretch kind of before County Line there. And as you're approaching Toyota Field, it's not too bad today, but just be aware of that, kind of our typical slowdown there. Your drive time still looking good. Decatur to Huntsville about 21 minutes. Athens to Huntsville about 27. Jonathan.
All right, thanks, Gina. A woman from Madison was killed in a crash yesterday. That accident happened near Sylacauga in east central Alabama. State troopers tell us that 24-year-old Samaria Whetstone was killed when the car she was driving went off the road and hit a tree. Further details weren't released.
New video shows the moment Scottsboro police found and arrested a man accused of shooting a police officer. Daniel McCarn was arrested Saturday near train tracks just a few miles from where he was last seen earlier in the day. Scottsboro police say he shot a police officer after a chase early Saturday morning. He then escaped, which led to a 21-hour manhunt. The officer who was shot is expected to survive. Police are not releasing the name of that officer at this time. Well, authorities have identified the man who drowned in the Tennessee River in Florence over the weekend. Our media partners at the Times Daily say the person who drowned was Joshua Cheney of Russellville. EMA Director Brad Holmes told the Daily Cheney was found Sunday morning about 200 feet from where he was last seen. Witnesses say they saw him swimming from McFarland Park out to a buoy in the river on Saturday. When he attempted to turn around and swim back, Cheney started to struggle before going under the water.
There are a few road closures we want to let you know about happening this week in the Tennessee Valley. One of those projects has already started. Crews have begun resurfacing more than 2 miles of Cox Creek Parkway in Florence. The crews are resurfacing the portion of the highway from Florence Boulevard to Helton Drive. There will be lane closures from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. every night until Thursday. Some lanes will also be closed on Slaughter Road between US 72 and Yancey Road later this morning. Those lane closures will begin at 8:30 a.m. and last until 4 p.m. Crews are working to widen Slaughter Road in that area. And happening today in Madison County, Pulaski Pike will be closed from Patterson Lane to Rigsby Road. Crews are working to replace a culvert. This part of the road will remain closed for the next 6 weeks, and detours will be posted.
Well, the state recently celebrated Sweet Grown Alabama Day. We tell you what it's about and what local farmers markets participated next. Many local farmers market employees took some time on Saturday to celebrate all the food that's grown right here in Alabama.
Yeah, this was all part of the Sweet Grown Alabama Day. 8 farmers market locations across the state, including Huntsville, Albertville, and Killen, participated in this event. Alabama has over 2,400 poultry producers in 49 of the state's 67 counties. Sweet Grown Alabama Director Ellie Watson says people need to look for opportunities to support our local farmers.
It is critical that we as Alabamians support our local farmers because they rely on us as consumers to ensure that they can continue farming for the next generation.
Another farming location, Alabama catfish production, actually ranks second in the country. Catfish ponds cover thousands of acres across our state.
Today is a 48 First Alert Weather Day, sponsored by Mr. Reuter Plumbing for all your emergency plumbing services.
Feel like my catfish consumption for this summer is down compared to previous years. No excuse, that's just on me. Nice catfish dinner on a day like today. That's about as summer as it gets. Look at our dew point here the next several days. It will be very uncomfortable. Dew point staying in the mid 70s. When you look at these highs of 94, 97, 94, average high is 92. Heat index well over 100 the next 3 days. That's why we have first alert weather days. But there is some good news. Look at our temperature starting to fall off here by Friday into the weekend. That also comes with chances for increasing coverage of rain showers and storms. Starting on Wednesday afternoon, should be scattered in nature. Thursday and Friday could have some good rainfall coverage. And at this point, some of you actually need to see some of the rain if you've missed out on it lately. We've got isolated downpours and a few pop-up storms expected through the afternoon into the evening. Evening commute should be mostly dry. Good day for the pool, but with that heat index well over 100, probably to today about 102 to 107. Keep an eye on your kids. Make sure they're taking in plenty of water, finding some shade or even some air conditioning from time to time. But very happy that at least I could tell you there is some relief coming in the form of mid 80s down the road.
All right, sounds good. Well, hey, let's know, like you said, take care of those tips. Make sure that you're staying as safe as possible outside. Thank you again for joining us here for the Fastcast. Make sure to join everyone here back again for the news show. We'll see you later.